What's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ coming back at y'all with another One Piece live stream. Man, the other one I did the other day was my first one. I really liked it, and I wanted to talk some One Piece with y'all today. So I'm just gonna hop on and just see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Really, this stream is gonna be pretty much a review of the last chapter 1008. Just want to get my review of it, which might lead to a discussion if anybody comes in here. I'm not really expecting it, but I don't know. You never know. Real quick though, let me see if let me confirm that the stream is up really fast, and so I can upload a thumbnail, man. Shoot, man, shit exciting, bro. Like I can't even explain, bro. Like I'm really rocking with this. Hold up. Checking it right now. Real quick. Okay, back out of that. Might be an echo. But yeah, shoot. Let's do it. So yeah, y'all. One Piece chapter 1008, man. It started first off, let me say this. I did enjoy this chapter. Let me just start off by saying that. So that being said, it's just yeah. So the chapter starts off with the whole Oden, or like we call fake Oden scabbard situation, where in which it turns out that Kanjuro was posing as Odin, which was actually, I didn't see that theory as much. I did see it. I saw it a little bit. Most people thought it was Onimaru disguising as Odin based on, because I think the chapter before that chapter 1006, showed the silhouette of somebody helping the scabbards, which, let me say, we still haven't seen who that person was, why they were there, what was their involvement, because it couldn't have been Kanjuro, right? Why would he build them? No, it couldn't have been Kanjuro. Why would he build them up to kind of shit on them again? So Toki, but I really think Toki's dead. It has to be, what's her name? Komurasaki or Hiyori. Yeah, it had to be her. Where did she go though? What is she doing? We don't know. Yeah. Anyway, the scabbards fall for this fake Odin. Most of the scabbards, except for Ashura Doji, which I actually kind of like, because Ashura Doji was the first scabbard we actually saw on Wano. So of course we got introduced to Kinemon, Kanjuro, and Raizo. We got introduced to all of them. Oh, and the two Dukes. We got introduced to them before Wano, and we got introduced to Ashura Doji on Wano. But I remember when he first got introduced, he was kind of a broken man. He had been, it had been 20 years since Odin died, and he had been living on Wano for that long, seeing it deteriorate. So he was broken. So I don't know. I kind of found it like almost kind of came full circle for him to realize that's not Odin, because Ashura Doji didn't travel to the future. He's been on Wano this whole time. He recognized instantly that's not Odin. I know who Odin is. Like, come on now. I gotta stop being so gullible. I was surprised that Denjiro kind of fell for it. That kind of threw me off guard, but it is what it is. I did enjoy that Ashura Doji was the one who actually spotted that. Like, that was very, yeah, I like what Oda did there. And with that being said, the fake Odin Kanjuro attacks all of them and has dynamite strapped to him, in which he begins to, blow himself up, and Oda made it seem like Ashura Doji sacrificed himself for the scabbards. Now, let me say something about that, because if I had any problem with this chapter, it was that whole thing, because now this would be, Oda's been doing this a lot lately, just baiting us when we, it just kind of kills attention. He did that. He did the shit with Hiroguro, and to a lesser extent, he kind of did it with this whole fake Odin thing, bringing him back out, like with this fake Odin. Like, it's kind of annoying, like Odin teasing, because first off, nobody really believed Hiroguro was going to die. So Oda spending all that time dedicating to that, like, that was kind of like, come on now. So to end the last chapter also with the whole Odin fake out, which most of us knew it wasn't Odin anyways too, and then they come back into this chapter with Ashura Doji fake out, which we know Ashura Doji's not dead. Like, everybody knows that. That's, if I had to say one blemish on the chapter, is definitely that, because that's just like, come on, bro. Like, we're not fools. We're not going to keep falling for the same thing. And then on top of that, Ashura Doji wouldn't die like that. Like, that's very sudden and kind of anticlimactic, to be real with you. It's similar to like the Pedro death. Like, it's like, okay, that happened. And that leads me to my next point. What I will say though is I do definitely believe that one of the scabbards, at least one, probably Kinemon has to die by the end of this arc. Like I would hope Oda does. I know that's not really Oda's forte. He doesn't really do that a lot, but I just feel like it has to be like that. And I think Kinemon would be the perfect one just because we've known him the longest. We've got connected to him the most. You know what I'm saying? And he was also the first. Him and Denjiro were the first scabbards that Oda didn't even kind of. He didn't necessarily recruit them, but they were the first scabbards on that bandwagon. So just to see that would be a very emotional moment, high impact moment. He kind of faked us out with the Okiku thing a little bit. All them chapters going, she lost her arm too. That's just another thing. But yeah, so that transitions actually into, and I didn't even actually acknowledge this at the end of my reaction, but basically the scabbards ended up running into Jack again. Okay, cool. Now, this is also another part of the chapter when I went back and reread it. I was like, okay, wait a minute. What's going on here? So they run into Jack. Now, of course, we all know the Sulong Minks beat Jack's ass on the roof. Okay, so Jack is beat up. Now, at the same time, the scabbards got their ass beat by Kaido on the roof. So, boom. That evens that out, right? What doesn't make sense to me is why did Inuyasha there sacrifice himself? Not sacrifice himself, but, instead of having all the scabbards fight Jack and just beat him easily, which I feel like they should be able to do right now. Like Jack shouldn't take too much effort for all 9 of them or 8 of them right now. And are they particularly in a rush? I know they're chasing after Kanjuro. Are they actually? No, wait. Let me take a step back and actually look at this. I don't even believe. Are they chasing Kanjuro? No, yeah, they are chasing Kanjuro. But listen, like, I just feel like at least half of them could stay back and help out Inuyasha. Like, it just doesn't make sense to leave him alone to fight Jack, especially with Nekomamushi there. That's kind of weird. Now, at the same time, I think he can do it. Like, he can hold Jack off. I don't think he can beat Jack. Like, not by himself. Like, not in them. Both of them in their weakened states. I got Jack because we all seen that Jack is a beast and he's just durable as hell. So I don't think Inuyasha has a stake in that one. But he can definitely hold him off and he can definitely fight. And I did love that line where Jack said, "There's no moonlight here," and Inuyasha replies with, "Well, there's no gas here either," which is funny because I remember back in the day on like Reddit and on the anime community back when the whole Zoe arc, when we saw the minks fighting Jack, people were arguing how strong Jack really was because he needed to use gas. Now, I remember in that side of the argument, I never believed that Jack necessarily had to use that gas to beat them. I just felt like Jack did it just to dead it. They had been fighting 5 days. He's like, man, fuck this shit. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to bust his gas out because I'm tired of fighting y'all. And I still do believe that. But, it was something to see that kind of came full circle all these years later because those conversations were going on like 5 years ago or whenever Zoe was. Might have been 6 years ago now. But yeah, I just feel like point is I feel like the scabbards didn't have to leave just him. Like at least Kawamatsu with him or something. Like 2 of them could still, mess up Jack. Like it's like, come on, bro. Especially because Jack's by himself. Anyways, let's keep transitioning. Now, of course, this chapter revealed that Kanjuro's back, but it also revealed that Orochi's back. Whoa, we all knew that. Everybody knew that. Which, let me say, when I really thought about it, that's kind of a problem. Let me say why. As a One Piece fan, we're used to this, so we kind of give Oda leeway. But that was so telegraphed. I still have to acknowledge that, hey, man, everybody knew this man was still living. And just to be so telegraphed. Now, what I will say is this next part, whatever Orochi's in, like what Orochi's story goes next in this arc, I don't think that's as easily telegraphed. Me personally I think that Orochi is going to involve CP9 into this arc in the world government. Because I actually have a big overarching theory. I believe by the end of this arc, an admiral was going to be pulling up in some way, shape, or form. And I think that's the perfect time to reveal, like, say, Green Bull or something. That's just my theory. Like, I think the world government, the Marines, for this to be as big as Marine Corps, they have to get involved because they're the biggest faction in this world. Like, there's no pirate crew that is as big as the world government, like, as the Marines. There's no, the revolutionary armies are as big as them. So they have to get their hands in it somehow. And it just seems like, to me, that would be in their best interest anyways, because they could view this as a part of Wano. Well, the one time that Wano might be vulnerable. I understand that we had Akainu saying he won't go to Wano and stuff, but then at the same time, we also got Sword in there too with Kobe and Drake. So, you know what I'm saying? We don't know how that's going, but yeah, I this Orochi stuff, this Koizumi stuff is telegraphed. I don't necessarily know where this plot line's going in that sense, but like I said, I gave my theory on what Orochi's going to do. Now the Koizumi stuff, I'm still shaky on that. I don't know how they die. I don't know how to get rid of. Maybe they don't die. Actually, now I think about it, because it might be better if they don't die, just because they're the last of their kind, and their name got tarnished. Like Kanjuro and Orochi are only acting this way based on how they've been treated their whole life, just because the name they bear. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess it was their great grandfather, at least in the case of Orochi, it's his great grandfather or something. What he did, and how it affected the further generations, which is wrong. So I think they shouldn't die. They should not necessarily be redeemed, but they should be understood a little bit. And the Wano should be changed. That aspect of Wano should be changed. Just in my personal opinion. That's just how I feel about that. And then on top of that, which was very interesting, what I liked, from the Orochi scene, we transitioned to Yamato, Momonosuke, and what's her name? The ninja girl, I forget, Shinobu. And they're running, they've been running for a while now. They have. And, last chapter we saw Momonosuke turn into his dragon form, which is the first time it happened in front of Yamato. And, of course, Yamato is Kaido's daughter, so like it was cool to see her interaction on it, and she's basically like, oh, it's nowhere near as huge as Kaido's, obviously. And it kind of, Oda uses this scene to kind of foreshadow that Momonosuke, maybe not in this arc, but I do think somehow in this arc he can do it, maybe using Shinobu's power or something. But down the line, Momonosuke is going to be a beast, just based on the fact that he has that devil fruit. Like, I understand they said it's imperfected and all that, but listen, this guy has the potential to turn into the same thing Kaido is. And I think there's more to that being imperfected. Like, so far we've seen, he kind of can do a very similar stuff at a base level to what Kaido does. He flies on clouds. He doesn't fly. They walk on clouds. Dragon, he's just not as big, and we haven't seen him shoot fire or anything like that. But it's cool. Like, I feel like a bit of foreshadow on what Momonosuke is going to be. Like, can you imagine Momonosuke? Like, could you imagine Momonosuke can be Odin and a mix of Odin and Kaido? Like, that's crazy. Like, I don't know what combination you can get better in the series than something like that. But yeah, transition, and we finally get back to the rooftop, which is something we've all been wanting to get back to for, about 3-4 chapters now, which is cool to see. And we're coming back in. We're seeing that the fight, there's a little bit of the fight has been off screen. We're seeing stuff going on. Luffy's, of course, back on his feet. Because last time we saw him, he was knocked out of Gear 4, and they were carrying him around. But he's back on his feet. He's back fighting again. We also see Kid has a different form where it looks like he has like what's the thing they shoot whales with, like back in the day, like harpoon? He has like a harpoon or something on his arm, which is, interesting. But I'm kind of disappointed in Kid so far, just because who he's hyped up, the portrayal of what he is. Just he hasn't. Oda just hasn't shown him the type of love you'll hope that he shows. But this moment right here is, of course, the biggest, most hype part of the chapter, which is Kaido hybrid reveal. Let's talk about that. Kaido's hybrid reveal. Now, if you watch my reaction, it's cool to see. But what I will say, it's basic. And that's not a bad thing. First off, Kaido already has a dope design. He has one of the best designs in One Piece. Now, his hybrid honestly doesn't look too much different. It looks different for sure, but it doesn't look crazy different. He has a tail, he has claws. He's probably blue. We assume he's blue, and his horns changed a little bit. But other than that, he looks more fish-like. I'll say that. He definitely looks more like sea creature-like, but he's not too much different. Which at first I was a little. I didn't say it in my reaction, but I was a little kind of disappointed. It just looks all right. But at the same time, he already has a cool looking design. It is what it is. Like, who has the best hybrid looking design in a series? Like, it might by default be Kaido, but his hybrid just looks so much like his base. It's just kind of hard, you know. And then on top of that, our expectations were very high. But this panel is dope. There's a lot going on. I think Big Mom actually looks cooler than Kaido in this panel, just based on, first off, he just looks like he's floating there, which he probably is because he can fly and he's in his hybrid form. But she just has a lot going on, from Zeus, Prometheus, and Napoleon, everything. She's been real impressive on that rooftop. Let me say that. And, you know, Kaido smirking because Luffy's, you know what I'm saying, Luffy's still trying to hurt him and everything. And I like that dynamic. Now, I'm almost certain next chapter is not going to continue with this. We're probably going to go back to the stuff that's going on in the dome. If I had to take a guess what was going to happen, I think we're probably going to go back to Frankie. But the good thing is we're not on break next week. So we're just right back to it. Yeah, so, you know, after letting it sit a day, I liked this chapter. Yesterday, upon my reaction, I gave it an 8, just off pure hype. You know, I did like the stuff we got. A plot did advance in this chapter, but upon further, you know, introspection and when letting me sit on it longer, I gotta bump this chapter down just a little bit. It's still a good chapter. Don't get it twisted. It's still a good chapter, but I'm gonna bump it down to 7.5 range, which is still good. Just not 8. I can't give it an 8. Like the chapters, like 8 chapters are like the chapters, the initial set of rooftop chapters where you get when they're fighting and Zoro's making tornadoes and things like that. Those are 8 chapters to me. This is just a step below it because some of the narrative and story stuff I'm not necessarily sure if I like, and it just knocks on the chapter. With that being said, this was still a great chapter. I still enjoyed this chapter. I think most of us did. Wano's been really, really good for a while now. It's really been like 20 so chapters. From the moment, Wano's been really good the moment the Scabbards kind of attacked Kaido, which happened about 20 chapters ago, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, predictions for next chapter. I already said one of them. I think we're going to see what's going on with Frankie because it's been a minute since he's gotten any highlight shine. If not him, we're probably going to go to Usopp and Nami. But I'm not sure on. That's just my little predictions. I don't think we're going back to Sanji or Robin yet. We could go to Jinbei. I would love if we go back to Jinbei and Hootsuite. Actually, I'm gonna go with that one because I would rather see that interaction more than anything right now. But yeah, with that being said, man, there we have it. That's the stream. If you're watching this, let me know what you think. You know, give some theories, just give some feedback, man. It's a conversation. I'm always checking my stuff. It's your boy AJ. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out, y'all.